Class?
Yes.
Class?
Yes.
So students, I'm sure that you're going to be on your best behavior today so that when I'm talking, you're listening. When this up here is talking, you are listening. You are representing your school. You're representing your teacher, your classmates, your family. So best behavior today. So again, we're here today with 4th grade to learn a little bit more about science in areas of mountains and rocks. So this is our schedule for today. It looks like this. We're going to talk a little bit about our journals and how we're going to use them. We're going to be Skyping with Yellowstone National Park and one of the park rangers there to talk about the geological features of the park. We're going to do a mystery science piece called Will a Mountain Last Forever? And then we're going to do an activity, and the rest of it kind of will probably get there, but maybe not. We'll get as much as we can done, all right? So the first thing I want you to do is I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Drizzle, and I'll be your guest scientist for today. And I have some friends of mine that I talk to quite a lot, some scientists, and I ask these scientists, what do good scientists do? And they say a couple things. They say a scientist will do something, they'll talk about it, they'll draw it out, and then they'll write it. And the scientists that have said this are Bill Nye the Science Guy and Adam and Jamie from the Mythbusters. I also was able to talk to an astronaut from the space station, and he said the exact same thing. So today, we're going to do something, we're going to talk about it, we're going to draw it, and then we're going to write it. So would you go ahead and open up your journal for just a moment, and I'm going to give you the question for our lab today. I want you to go ahead and write the question down. So the question today, and those of you that are watching back in your classrooms, our question for today is, will a mountain last forever? Now, as a really good scientist, I need you to write that down in your journal right now. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to do that. So you guys are watching this across North America, actually today, and into Canada, which is North America, I knew that. I want you to write down that same question too. Will a mountain last forever? All right, so we've just done something. We've written something down, but we haven't done anything with our hands yet. So before we get to those activities, let's go ahead and talk about this. In just a moment, I'm going to ask you to turn and talk to a buddy. And I want you to answer and ask that question to each other. Not only do I want you to ask it, I want you to listen to what they say. Now, here's how we're going to turn and talk. In this big of a group, we don't want to leave anybody out. We're all scientists today. All of your words are valuable, okay? So we're not going to leave anyone out. When I say turn and talk, and there's someone behind you that didn't have a partner, just say, hey, join us. But here's your question. Scientists, would you turn and talk and answer the question, will a mountain last forever? Go. Let me remind you again that this is a science lesson. If you're live right now, you do not want that behavior going out over their ways. Okay, so teachers, if you see them being silly, we'll just pull them out. We'll still do science with them. They can't be part of this. I hate to say that, but that's the way to do it. So looking for some hands that can tell me what their answer to this was or what the partner's answer was. Yes, sir, the tank top black. Yes, sir. Real loud, please.
I would say yes.
But they do last forever.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to back that up with, or that's just what your answer is
No,
now?
not everything there.
Okay. Very good. Thanks for giving an example from, yes, ma'am, the pink and lace.
I think mountain will last forever because I don't think rock will ever die.
Okay, so you think the rocks are not going to go away? Yes, sir.
Because I think a mountain will last forever because these say like Mount Everest like grows like an inch like 5 years or something. So if it can keep growing, it won't like die out or anything.
Okay, let's do one more. Looking for, yes, ma'am, in the blue and green jacket. Real loud for me.
I think the mountain will last forever.
Okay, so you're giving an opposing view now. Do you know why? Or is it just that's what your opinion is right now?
That's my opinion.
Excellent. Well, let's put your hands down for just a moment. So the Mythbusters, Jamie and Adam, one part of their job on TV is to bust or confirm a myth. Somebody will send or write a letter to them and say, hey, will the mountain last forever? Or if you put a can of soda in the freezer, will it burst or will it not? They take all these ideas to their studio and they perform these tasks. If they bust a myth, this is what it looks like. It means, nah. That means it's not true. If they confirm the myth, they check it off. So right now, we have probably some of you think a mountain cannot last forever. If you're one of those people, go and raise your hand now. We have several. Excellent. Now, the other side of that, how many of you think a mountain will last forever? So those of you that are watching this back in classrooms, what are your tallies? Are you at half and half? Do you have more of one than the other? Well, we're going to try to bust that myth today and find out. But before we do, would you take 1 minute and 17 seconds and write down your prediction? Yes, because, or no, because. Those of you, make sure that you put yes and you're not sure why. Tell me why you don't think it's true. Or maybe if you say no, it's not going to happen, tell me why. Now remember in science, there is no wrong or right answer right now. There's more than one way to get an answer. One of my favorite sayings is failure is always an option. So we may make mistakes today. That's okay. We're going to learn from them. Teachers, can I commend you on how everyone's writing right now? I love that. No one's just sitting there looking around. They've got their pencils on paper. They've got connections. I love that. So while you're finishing up, I'm actually going to escape on my screen and pull up our Skype. Today we're really excited to be able to Skype with the Yellowstone National Park. Now, there may be times during this that we can get some questions answered, but I want you to make sure you're on your best behavior so we can see this. Teachers, if you're watching this, Skyping with Yellowstone National Park is very easy. You're going to Skype or email YELL_virtual_ranger. Find that on the internet and you'll be able to Skype with them too. But we're getting ready to start right now. So I'm going to click on my little video. This is us right here. She can see us. And we're going to see her in just a moment.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Excellent. Well, so welcome to Hillandale Elementary School. These are 111 of the smartest fourth graders we have in Durham Public Schools, and they're excited to Skype with you today. As I told you before, they're actually going to be learning about, well, they are learning about rocks and minerals and lots of geological features. So we're going to let you start and introduce yourself, and then we may have a question or two when you're finished. Everyone's eyes up here? Go ahead.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Ranger Allie, and I am a park ranger in Yellowstone National Park. Raise your hand if you think that you have been to a state or a national park before. Awesome, very cool. Has anyone in our audience that I can see, has anyone ever been to Yellowstone? You could raise your hand. Awesome! So Yellowstone is an incredible place because it is the world's first national park. It is the country's first national park. And for many years, it didn't even have a name. It was just called the National Park. And so we are very lucky to get to be in this place with lots and lots of different things. You come to Yellowstone and you might see a bison, right? This is a bison's horn. You can come to Yellowstone and you might get to see a bear. This is a bear's paw. You come to Yellowstone and you might get to see a geyser, which is a place where water shoots up out of the ground 100 feet high. You can come to Yellowstone and I know, look at all the people. Look at the teeny tiny humans.
Oh, man.
I'll talk about that in just a second. You can come to Yellowstone and see obsidian. This is a piece of obsidian, which is a rock.
Awesome.
And it is also looks like a glass. But this particular piece of obsidian is shaped like a knife. We can talk about why that is. You might also get to come to Yellowstone and see petrified wood. Wood that is literally turned to stone. And that happens in lots of different ways, sometimes all related to the fact that you come to Yellowstone. You can stand inside of a volcano. Did you guys know that?
No.
Yes. Here in Yellowstone, we are actually perched on top of the world's largest active volcano. and it changes everything about our park. So when you come to Yellowstone and you look and you want to see, what you're really seeing is a place where the earth had magma very close to the surface. If you, right now in North Carolina, were to put on your x-ray glasses, if you had them, which we did, right, and you look down through the earth, you have to look 40 to 60 miles down. If you're in Asheville, more like 60 miles down. If you're out on the Outer Banks, probably more like 40 miles or less. And then you would get to that molten hot magma. Here in Yellowstone, the magma has bubbled up, and it has literally melted away. It has literally exploded out of the rim of the caldera. And so here in Yellowstone, if you put on those x-ray glasses, you would look down to the floor, and in 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, you would get to molten hot magma. Pretty cool. There is molten hot rock underneath us. Now, that's not all of Yellowstone. All of Yellowstone is on top of that active volcano, but only parts of Yellowstone are actually inside of the crater or the caldera that was left behind. Who's a Harry Potter? In potions class, they use a cauldron, right? Think of that cauldron that you might have seen in the movie, or you think about it in your mind, like a witch's cauldron, perfect for Halloween. Well, the same word is used when we talk about a caldera. So what happens is the volcano blows its top, and the earth sinks down. And what's left behind is like a big cauldron, or like a cereal bowl, a big round spot in the earth. And that's actually where you can go in Yellowstone. You can drive your car and actually go and visit places in the caldera. Do you think the earth still looks like this in Yellowstone? Those of us who've been there would say, no. This was 600,000 years ago that happened. And so right now we have grasses, we have trees that have grown on that cauldron or caldera. But if you stand up on the rim, it still kind of looks like that potions class cauldron. That's the same root word, caldera. It still looks like giant cereal bowl. You can still see that crater in the earth. But it really is called caldera. And that's because it imploded in on itself. A crater is when something goes out. So what happens when you have molten hot rock very close to the surface? So if you think about it, it's kind of like my hat, okay? My ranger hat I wear every day. Most people think of a volcano like this, big and pointy. Well, here in Yellowstone, our volcano has already kind of blown its top, right? And all that's left is a cereal bowl. And the liquid hot magma is right underneath my hat. So when you drive down into that, you can actually feel that the earth itself is hotter. There are places in Yellowstone that we have boiling springs. The water, remember groundwater, is under the surface. Surface water is lakes, streams, rivers. Remember, groundwater is from the snow and rain melting and trickling down through the earth. And so the groundwater gets super heated. Have any of you ever seen a pot of boiling water on the stove?
Yes.
Yeah! It boils, and what happens? Sometimes you leave it, it goes up and over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how hot spring works.
Oh.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Very, very cool. Now wait, have any of you ever been to Hot Springs, North Carolina? Some of you have. That's in the mountains of North Carolina. You can go and see Hot Springs, North Carolina, but guess what? In North Carolina, they don't have a volcano right underneath them, so you can get in them. Here in Yellowstone, our hot springs are so hot, they are boiling sometimes. If you were to stick your fingers in here, your skin would bubble and blister. It would burn in seconds. It's very dangerous. So we do not ever get in our hot springs here, but that's because we have a volcano that's heating our water here. Now, some of you said you really love the idea of the kind of the geysers. We also have places, I saw you go, oh my goodness, look at where steam kind of pumps up out of the earth. So here's the person who's taking a picture. Look at that, it's like a tea kettle. It's just steam coming up out of the earth. This is the hottest feature. It can be over 239 degrees. It's called a steam vent or fumarole. But these are the ways that we know that the volcano is still hot and active. Literally, there are places where the ground is so hot that snow does not collect all winter long. There are places that are so warm that actually at the heat of the sun, the roadways become impassable. We had to resurface roadways. Can you imagine a roadway, kind of road, like an asphalt road, kind of melting with the sun? It was also because of some of the chemicals and components in the concrete, but it was true. The warm ground next to the sun did not do very well with some of our concrete. That happened in Yellowstone. There are places where hot steam pours out of the earth, or there are places where geysers erupt, and those are really, really special. Geysers are hot springs, by the way. They're hot springs that have a special thing in them, a plumbing system. Everybody here, I want you to take your hands and show us. And if you're somewhere else, show us your hands like you're holding a can of Coke with 2 hands, or maybe a coffee mug. Now imagine that you are trying to pour a gallon of milk or a gallon of water through that little hole. Would that be very hard? No. Now try to imagine that you are Old Faithful, and you've got boiling water coming up to the surface, and it's creating pressure, and pressure, it's pushing, and you have this little opening, this big. Now imagine trying to get a swimming pool full of water out of that hole. Would that be hard? Yes. So that is called surface tension. It creates enough surface tension because of the small opening that it waits and waits and waits until enough pressure builds, and then kablooey. Now you guys look very nice people, but you may have played this prank before. Have any of you ever taken a garden hose, turned that garden hose on, and then let someone else use it, and you walked over and you hit and you bent that garden hose in half? You bent it in half. Has anyone ever done that? Yes. What happens when you let that garden hose go? It sprays out all over everyone, doesn't it? It sprays out all over. Guess what? You're kind of working like a geyser. Your prank was working exactly how a geyser does. That small constriction holds the pressure, and then about 90 minutes, if you're Old Faithful, you blow your top. Now guess what giant geyser just started up the other day? It took 5 years for it to build up enough pressure to blow its top. Sometimes beehive geysers might take 8 or 12 hours. So it just depends on which geyser we're talking about, how much time it takes to build up enough pressure to make that eruption. But they do erupt. That is what a geyser does. It erupts. It's a hot spring that erupts every so often.
So Ranger, you have got them so excited to learn more. Here I am, to learn more about rocks and minerals. But I want to ask you a favor, if you don't mind. So I've got all these beautiful 4th graders out here. I think you have a surprise.
I do.
And I want you to tell them your surprise. Now, teacher, listen carefully. This is real important. Kids, I want you to listen real carefully. Can you tell them your surprises? We only have a few minutes left, and I want them to know this. All right.
Absolutely. So what we tell you is that if you think you would like to see things like the beautiful Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, or maybe you just want to go see a beaver at a dam near your house, or maybe you want to go to an area like the Great Smoky Mountains, or maybe you are going to go to Mania or on the Outer Banks and want to use your national seashores. This year, you are all very important kids. Do you know why? You're in 4th grade, and President Obama, with the Park Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife and the Forest Service and all these other federal, so national lands, have decided that you guys get into all your parks for free all year long. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to tell you something that's even better. Guess what? Did you know that you can't drive?
No.
So guess what? You don't get yourself in for free, because that's what all kids are already free. You get whoever is in your car with you in for free. Or if you're going to a place that does tours, like if you're in New Orleans, where I'm from, and you want to go on one of our tours, you get into up to 3 adults for free. So you could get your aunt and your grandma, or your babysitter, or maybe you could get your cousin. All those people could come in for free. 3 adults and all the kids in the car to come in for free. So it's pretty awesome. You get the entire carload in for free, and you can go to any federal land and do this. Also, some states are allowing their state parks to also take passes. Now, teachers, this is the important part for you. Kids, you can go to www.everykidinapark.gov. And I'm not sure with the live stream if we can screen share, so I have that if you, but if not, it's everykidinapark.gov. And you could print these out at home. You could print out a pass, and that pass will get you into all your parks for free. And actually, when you come to your first park, they'll give you a plastic pass. They'll switch out your paper pass to plastic pass. But teachers, you might be saying to yourself, well, my students, they don't have a printer in their home. Guess what? Teachers can print out a whole batch for their class. So you can print out, you can say, I have 24 students, and you can get a whole batch for your class. Those paper passes are an $80 value. They'll get you into all interagency places for free, just the kids. You have to have a fourth grader with you. So teachers, you can't use them unless you have a fourth grader in your car. So kids, you have to be there. Your parents can't take your passes and go without you, or your grandma or anybody, or your 7th grade brother or sister. They have to have passes. So pretty cool. And so you teachers can help your students get their passes by printing out an entire batch for your class. The other thing we have is a really cool, it's a great lesson plan. So it's a great lesson plan. So it's going to be basically about federal land, and kids get a chance to kind of imagine what federal lands they would want to protect that haven't been identified yet. So maybe they have a little wetland near their house, or maybe they have seen a really cool beach, or maybe they think of a mountain. They can also make up imaginary places that they would want to protect. But the cool thing is there is a lesson plan there just for you. There's a handout, and that's just for teachers. And so you can actually incorporate this into your lessons. Of course, if you're already teaching about our federal lands, then you would just be able to print the passes, and you don't have to do the lesson. We just would love for you to educate your students about their lands. Because guess who owns these places, kids? You do. You own them, and everyone in our country owns them together. We just take care of them for you, those of us in these uniforms.
So thank you very much. I'm going to let the kids give you one more last wave, everybody.
Knows the interesting things about where you live. So, and hopefully you guys will have a great rest of your day. It was nice to meet all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
So since we've been sitting for about 15 minutes, teachers, if you can help me orchestrate that, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to each other about what we just learned. We're going to stand and do that while I get the next activity up. So those of you that are home that have been sitting for a while, here's what I want you to do. The question is, what did you learn, and what do you want to know more about? Think about it. What did you learn, and what do you want to know more about? We're going to stand quietly, and then we're going to talk to each other and give you just about a minute and a half to get this set up. So scientists, will you stand and answer those questions? And if you guys do that at home, I'll be right with you.
What's the question?
Teachers, you can do this in your class. For those of you watching, 2 people, wait for everybody seated, to share out what they learned, what they want to learn more about, or what your partner said. I'm just going to choose 2 on this one. Yes, sir, in the gray shirt, dark gray shirt, Hurley.
So me and my partner are going to learn more about divers and stuff.
Excellent. And I love the way you included yourself and your partner teachers. Did you notice that? Very collaborative there. You just make it all about you. You included your partner in that. Thumbs up. Great scientific work there. And in the very back, the blue shirt in the glass, can you be really loud for me?
Mia and my partner said that we want to be able to go there and find out more about the livings.
Absolutely. And guys, somebody's going to correct my math on this. There's between 53 and 58, and I'm not sure exactly which ones, national parks. And then we have those state parks that you can also visit in protected land. In North Carolina, there's a lot. The closest national park, I believe, is Great Smoky Mountains, which is going to be about 6 hours away, maybe about 5.5. So we can make this happen. However, if you can't make it happen yet, make sure that you contact Ranger in the Park. Just search that on the internet, and you guys can do some more Skyping with other parks like the Badlands or the Grand Canyon or the Grand Teton, so we can learn more. So scientists, here's the second part of our lesson today. We're going to be doing some mystery science. Now we're going to watch, and then we're going to talk, and we're going to write. And then we're going to watch, and we're going to talk, and we're going to write. And then we're going to do an activity in our groups of 3. So if you'll put your eyes right up here on the screen, we're going to start our mystery right now.
Hi, it's Doug.
You're looking at Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. Mount Everest and the surrounding Himalaya mountains are so tall that astronauts can see their snow-capped peaks all the way from space. Part of what makes mountains so impressive is that they're solid rock all the way through. Like, look, this isn't a mound of individual rocks piled up really high. This mountain is one single solid rock. Mountains are like walls of vertical rock going straight up in the sky. But will these mountains always be there? Do mountains last forever? You might think, well, yeah, why not? But let me tell you a story. A story about a man-made mountain. A pyramid. You know, one of these things, like the kind built by the ancient Egyptians. The Egyptians lived right here, but our story actually takes place on the other side of the world, here, in the jungles of Central America. The people over here may have a pyramid too, a people called the ancient Mayans. This is the Mayans' most well-known pyramid. It's a great temple called Kukulkan, about 100 feet tall. Now pyramids, unlike mountains, are not one solid piece of rock. Instead, they're built up, layer by layer, brick by brick, using stone bricks that have been chiseled by hand. About 1,000 years ago, the Mayan people abandoned the use of the pyramids. They actually left them, and they went to live in other places. Most of their pyramids became long forgotten. In fact, hundreds of years later, people didn't know any of the pyramids were even there anymore. They were lost in the jungle. What happened to the pyramids? How could something that big go missing? About 100 years ago, local residents were traveling through the jungle and noticed this. Do you see it? It's a giant hill covered in trees. There aren't any hills around here, so that's kind of weird. The residents who noticed got interested, so they went closer to check it out. When they got to the base of the hill, this is what they saw. They noticed that weirdly, the trees had been growing in a pile of rocks. So they started removing the trees, and when they did, here's what they saw. This. Look at that. It's the steps of a pyramid. Once they finished removing all the trees, this is what was revealed. It was one of the ancient Mayan pyramids. It's so cool. So what happened? Well, here's a close-up of one of the trees before they removed it. What do you think is going on here? What do you think happened to this pyramid?
So you see the close-up of the trees. So I want you to think for 10 seconds. What do you think is going on there? I want you to think. We're thinking without talking. What do you think? Now turn to a partner and ask them. And back. So did anyone have an idea about what they think happened to that? In the very back in the orange shirt. Real loud.
I think giant rocks cave and feathers should go around and shift it so that the trees can get in there and have enough room to grow.
So basically, you guys can go home now. No, I'm just kidding. That was a great answer. That was great vocabulary that you're using. Anybody else have one more idea? Yes, ma'am, in the black shirt.
I think what happened to it is that it got old and the pyramid is still in the middle of the jungle. So
Okay.
why won't trees grow under it?
Okay. So let's see if we can come up with an experiment to do this. So your teachers are getting ready to pass out some information to you. So those of you waiting at home, every group of 3, working in groups of 3, or welcome to work in groups of 2. Every group is going to get each of them their own data sheet called Sugar Shake. They're going to get a plate that has 2 sugar cubes on it, 2 magic markers, and a container. Groups of 3, all I want you to do when it happens is just to move around a little bit so you're sitting in a group of 3. Now this is going to take us just a few minutes here, so once you get set up at home. Thanks.
You don't want to be the parent.
Let me go ahead and tell you about my mistake. You need 5 sugar cubes for each group, not 2, 5 of
Hey, what
Okay, we're getting ready to start. Alright, class. Stop, look, listen. While you're waiting for your materials, I want you to go ahead and turn the sheet over. I want you to quietly read through the questions. We're going to start in just a moment, but I need every scientist in the room to be reading through those questions right now.
Okay, who are you with? Is it 2 of you? Okay, here's yours. Hold on to it. Here's yours.
Alright, here we go. Okay, students, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. We're going to ask you that if you're sitting near one, you're going to be listening and watching. If you don't have one, you're going to be watching on. We had 115 planned out. We must have more than that for students. I need you to watch right here. Okay? I shouldn't have to say this to you, but we don't ever put anything into our mouths when we're working with science unless you're told to by scientists. So those of you that are tasting the sugar, you need not to do that, okay? You need to look up on the screen, and you're going to see what you have, and you have that amount of materials. So here is how we're going to do this. I want you, each of you in the group, and if you've got people beside you that are not included, please include those because we have enough of the sugar cubes. I want you to, each of you, to look at a sugar cube, and we're going to answer some simple questions. So number 1, the question is, draw what your sugar cube looks like here. So you're looking at your untouched sugar cube. When I mean untouched, it just came out of the box. And you're going to tell me what it looks like by drawing that in box number 1. Everybody should be doing that right now. If you need to make sure that there's a back to it or a top to it, you can turn it around a little bit. Put hopefully you're not just drawing a flat square. Okay? Some of you drew an actual cube. Excellent. Now, in just a few minutes, we're going to be doing an activity with this. So I want you to tell me what you think it is going to look like after you shake that in a container 200 times. So think about that for a moment. Don't do it. Think about it, and I want you to draw what you think it looks like. For those of you at home, I know it's kind of hard to see this. We're going to pull the screen up a little closer after we pick it up. That's okay. That's happened twice. One of them was my fault. Let me see. Stanley, if you'll just get the screen, make sure it's still. We're still on the screen. Let's. All right, the next activity, and there's 3 of you in a group, so you're going to have to share this and be cooperative and collaborative science. This next activity is going to ask you to each choose a color or a sugar cube and color the edges. But before you do, I need you to count the edges of one of the sugar cubes. Do that with your team. How many edges does one of your sugar cubes have? And I need an answer. Who can raise their hand? Yes, sir, in the striped shirt in the back. How many edges?
8.
Okay, so we have something that says 8. Let's see if we can get another answer in there. Yes, ma'am, in the pink shirt. Purple. We have 6. So we have 6 and 8. Let's try another one. Yes, ma'am, in the gray shirt. 12. So everyone hold either a real sugar cube or an imaginative one in your hands. And we're going to count the sides first, the side edges. Ready? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Now we're going to count on. We're going to do the top edges. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now very carefully so you don't hurt your sugar cube, turn it over in your hand and keep counting on. 9, 10, 11, 12. So one sugar cube has 12 edges, okay? How many do 5 have? 60. And you did, how did you get that? 12 times 5. Excellent. So I need you to take one of the markers and I want you just to color the edges. And I want your partner to take another marker and cover or color the other edges. So we're only coloring 2. There's 3 of you in the group, and that's okay. So what we're going to do, scientists, is you have your sugar shake sheet. That's hard to say. Say that 6 times. I want you guys to continue the lab in your classrooms, and we are going to continue here, but we're going to go ahead and end this podcast. So thank you so much for showing up at Hillandale Elementary School. We hope you've learned a little bit about mountains, a little bit about rocks, a little bit about the national parks. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you soon live with Dr. Drizzle.